Hi everyone. Today we will be discussing the anatomy of the eye. The eye, as we see it is just a little portion of the eye that we see. So inside of it, it is an entire sphere. So the eye is an entire spherical structure, and it is called an eyeball, right? Eyeball is a cystic structure, which means that there should be some fluids or there should be some fluid like substances which are present, and so they are present. So aqueous humor is one of the substances which is present, and the other one is vitreous humor. Now, vitreous humor. Now, the aqueous humor is a watery substance. It is a watery substance which is present anteriorly, and your vitreous humor is a gel-like substance. It is a gel-like thing present posteriorly, and it is present posteriorly, right? So these are the two things that that is like just an introduction. Now the shape of the eye is an oblate spheroid. Now, what is an oblate spheroid? What does this term means? It is neither like completely oblique like this, neither it is completely circular like this. So this is not the case. It is somewhere in between. So it is something like this, elongated structure, something like this. So it is an oblate spheroid. So basically, elongate. We can say it is an elongated sphere, right? Then there are, but then we come upon to poles. There are two poles, anterior pole and the posterior pole, right? So the anterior and posterior poles. Now, uh, what is the definition of a pole before we discuss what is interior? So the central point of maximum convexities. So the central point of the maximum convexities. Now, this is a your technical definition. Let us go on to this picture to understand. So they have mentioned this point as the anterior pole and this point as the posterior pole. But what does this mean? So this part anteriorly is your cornea. So the anterior pole is the anteriorly the anterior pole is the central point of anterior convexity, central point of the anterior convexity, which is your anterior pole. So anterior convexity is your cornea. So the central point of your cornea is called your anterior pole, right? So the central point of the anterior convexity, which is your cornea, is called your anterior pole. Now posterior pole is the central point of posterior convexity. Now, what is the posterior convexity? Posterior convexity is your retina. So, the central point of the cornea is the anterior pole. The central point of your retina is the posterior pole. Now, we meridian. So, we make an imaginary line bisecting the anterior and posterior poles. Bisecting the anterior and posterior poles forms the meridian. Now here there is a term known as principal meridian. Now the principal meridian, what is the principal meridian? The steepest meridians. The steepest meridians are your principal meridians. Now here we have your equator. Now the equator, let us first discuss the definition of the equator. The line joining the line joining the two poles. The two poles is called your equator. So here we have the geometric equator, which is nothing but a line which would be joining your vertical two poles, right? Vertical two poles are joined by your geometric equator, right? It is just like the meridian. Meridian is horizontal, geometric is vertical meridian, you can say. Vertical equivalent of meridian is your geometric equator. Vertical diameter is the line joining two vertical points, right? Transverse diameter is the diameter of your meridian, diameter of meridian basically. These are very simplified definitions that I'm telling so that it is easy to learn. Line, just one second. Vertical diameter, what was it? Line joining the two vertical poles. I'll write it somewhere where it is eligible to read actually. Line joining two vertical poles, right? So now we have the anterior posterior diameter. Anterior posterior diameter is line joining anterior and posterior. It is the line joining anterior and posterior pole, right? So this is all the definitions in this picture. So let us revise these definitions and then we will go on to the codes of the eye. So the anterior pole, it is the central point of the anterior convexity, which is your cornea, right? So the central point of the cornea is your anterior pole. Posterior pole is the central point of the posterior convexity, which is your retina, or we can simply put it as central point of the retina is your posterior pole. Anterior-posterior diameter is the line which will line joining the anterior and the posterior poles, which is your anterior-posterior diameter. A meridian is nothing but a semicircular line which will cut through, which will bisect the anterior and posterior poles. Right? Now, in case of meridian, we have another term called the principal meridian. So the steepest meridians is called your principal meridian, right? Geometric equator, it is the vertical equivalent of a meridian. So what this means is a line bisecting the two vertical poles. So basically it can be defined as line bisecting two vertical poles. Bisecting two vertical poles, right? Is your geometric equator. Now transverse diameter is basically the diameter of your meridian, right, as it is also seen over here in the marked picture. Vertical diameter is nothing but the line joining the two vertical poles. And I think I've completed this. So let us move on to the codes. There are three codes of the eye. One is fibrous code, vascular code, and your nervous code. So codes we define as, so the first thing we take the inner, we are going here from the innermost to the outermost. Let us go like this, or let us go from the innermost, which is the simplest one, innermost to outermost, right? So how can we go from the innermost to the outermost? So the innermost is your nervous coat, which mainly is your retina, which is your retina. The middle coat, basically the middle one, it will be your, this one is your inner coat, the middle coat is your vascular coat, and the outermost coat is basically your fibrous coat. Okay, so these two, the vascular coat. Now the vascular coat has your three divisions. One is iris, second is ciliary body, and the third one is your choroid. Right? So if we see, come up onto this one, this image. So the one, the retina from, so the yeah. So these are the coats which can be seen. So the retina, choroid, and the sclera. Now the retina is the innermost layer we can see. Choroid is the vascular layer, and sclera is your outermost coat. Now your sclera, if you can see, the sclera will continue forward as your cornea. So the anterior one-sixth is called your cornea of the fibrous coat. The anterior one-sixth is called your cornea. The posterior five-sixth is called your sclera. Okay. Now the choroid anteriorly continues. If you see here, anterior, so this is the choroid. It was anteriorly continuing as your ciliary bodies, and it is continuing as your iris. So ciliary body and the iris are formed from the choroid itself. Choroid is nothing but the pigmented layer of the eye. So a pigmented layer, why is it pigmented? Because it forms basically your, so anteriorly it will be iris and ciliary. Iris and ciliary body will be anterior. Choroid is the posterior vascular pigmented layer. Fibrous coat, now anteriorly it is divided as your cornea, and so this is the anterior one-sixth part, and posterior sclera. The posterior five-sixth part is your sclera. Now cornea, the two important features are that it is avascular and transparent it is transparent. But the sclera is your vascular structure. It has blood vessels, vascular structure, and it is whitish in color. Now, the cornea, where does it get its oxygen from? It gets its oxygen directly from the air because it is directly in contact. So what we see in front of the eye, what we can see in the mirror, is your transparent cornea. Then we have your iris and the pupil. That is, these are the only parts of the eye which are visible anteriorly. Okay, so these are the parts which are visible anteriorly, but behind also it contains a lot of things. Now summarizing this in the form of a circle, I would be drawing. So anteriorly, this is the cornea. This goes out to be the sclera, right? Then posteriorly, if ciliary bodies are here, this is your iris. Zonules, these are zonules. We will be discussing what zonules are. Then here another ciliary body, and this one is again the iris. Not a perfect diagram, but easy to understand. So I'd be labeling it as well. So this one is your choroid, and the retina comes here, somewhere here. So this is just a rough representation. So this is your cornea, part of a fibrous layer, sclera. So this is your fibrous coat together. This is your ciliary body. So lens does not come in the coats of the eye. So I'm just not naming, neither do the zonules. Ciliary body, iris. This is your choroid basically. So these will form your vascular coat. Then the third one, the behind one, is this part is your retina, which is your nervous coat, right? So yeah, this is what we have. Okay, so this is a rough representation. So this is a rough diagram, basically, I would say, of how to understand it. basically. Now we have to discuss the segments and chambers. So there are two segments. So there are two segments basically, your anterior segment and the posterior segment. Your anterior segment, let us see what comes in the anterior segment first. Your posterior, first of all, your anterior segment consists of your lens and the structures anterior to it. So all the structures of the anterior to the lens form. So this will form your anterior segment, and the structures posterior to it, that is the retina and the vitreous chamber, are your posterior segment. So the anterior segment is further divided into, for the sake of understanding, it is divided into your anterior chamber and posterior chamber. Now, chamber. So, anteriorly, so now let us discuss about the anterior chamber. So, the anterior chamber is formed anteriorly by anteriorly by posterior wall of cornea, posterior wall of cornea, and posteriorly by anterior wall of iris and some part of the ciliary body. Similarly, the posterior chamber is formed anteriorly by the posterior wall of iris, anterior wall of lens, anterior wall of lens, and laterally it is formed by the ciliary bodies. So now, after discussing theoretical, let us see what is it in a diagram. So we anterior chamber is divided. Anterior chamber is formed anteriorly by the posterior wall of the cornea. So this is the posterior wall of the cornea and the anterior wall of the iris. So this is the anterior wall of the iris. This one is your, and some part of the ciliary body. Just some part of the ciliary body also forms it. So this is your entire anterior chamber. Now, now let us take another in color and see the posterior part of the iris and the anterior part of the lens. Lens along with the zonules, and laterally by the ciliary body forms a posterior chamber. Right. So this is what your posterior chamber is. Let us and now the pupil. Now pupil acts as a communication between anterior and posterior chamber, anterior and posterior chamber. One thing, next thing. Okay, yeah. So it is the entire lens plus the zonules, not so the posterior wall by the lens plus the zonules. And now the posterior chamber is triangular in shape. We can see it here. So if we just omit the pupil, this goes around like this. So it is a somewhat triangular in shape. Then we have here about something about the anterior chamber. Now, what about the anterior chamber? We have about the anterior chamber that two things. It is shallow for it is shallower in metropes and deeper in myopes. So this is an important point that the anterior chamber is shallower in hypermetropes and deeper in the myopes. Now let us see here the cornea. We already discussed it is a transparent structure. The pupil is the gateway to the eye. It is basically a part through which the light enters your eye. It can constrict and dilate according to the light setting of the area. Anterior chamber holds both your anterior and the posterior chamber hold your aqueous humor. So the anterior segment entirely holds your aqueous humor, but anterior is divided on the basis of the structures, basically divided. Right. So the anterior chamber is shallower in hypermetropes and deeper in myopes, and normal in normal people, of course. Right. And lens is a crystalline proteinaceous substance which can undergo some changes during cataract and become cloudy. Iris is nothing but the continuation of your ciliary body. Now, iris is the basic thing which will the iris is a contractile structure, so it will constrict your pupil if there too much light is is shining on your eye to protect your retina from that extreme damage, and it will dilate if the light is very dim so that a lot of light can enter and we can have a good vision in night as well, in dark as well. Now your Schlem's canal, okay, this one is your Schlem's canal. It is very important for the drainage of your aqueous humor, and if there is any blockage in the Schlem's canal, or there is or the aqueous humor is not able to flow, then we will have congestive glaucoma. Yes, zonules are again the extensions of these zonules are again the extension of your ciliary body. Now they are used to hold the lens in place. Now, if you are looking at a far distance, your lens is relaxed. Your lens is relaxed basically because the zonules are relaxed. But if you're looking at something far, you're straining your eye. The lens is in its it contracted state because of the zonules. So zonules are responsible for changing the shape of the lens. So basically, zonules change shape of lens, and iris changes the shape of the pupil. So this is changes shape of pupil. So this is important, because you should know that if pupil is being said, if pupil ka shape changes is there, then we will say that iris is changing it. But agar lens ka shape changes are there, then we will say that it is being done by the zonules. Where retina is the basic organ of vision, basically I would say, because it is here where the photons of the light hit, and there are structural changes in the neurons, and then for we have a vision. We can see and make out that okay, this is the thing. Then choroid, as we discussed, is the vascular layer. Sclera is your fibrous layer. Lateral rectus is one of your ocular muscles, which we will be discussing later on. Fovea is the part of the maximum colored vision, because it has rich in cones. So it is rich in cones, right? So it is the part of the maximum vision, colored vision. Optic nerve, the nerve which will carry all your vision through the eye to the brain, where it is interpreted. Retinal vessels, the blood vessels, and your nervous supply of the eye will be dealt with in another thing. The medial rectus is another ocular muscle. We will discuss it later. So basically, your ora serrata is a serrated junction. Serrated because it has a lot of, if you see lines and stuff, serrated junction. Now, what is the demarcation between this? I'm writing it over here because it has a lot of space. So it marks the end of non-photosensitive part of eye, and beginning of photosensitive part of the eye. Part of eye. So basically, it is a junction between your ciliary body and retina. So basically, serrata is a junction between the ciliary body and the retina, and it will mark the end of non-photosensitive area of the eye, just the light collecting part, and the beginning of the photosensitive part of the eye,
That is
that
the
is your retina.
retina. Now that would be it for this video, and I hope to see you for the next video. Thank you so much.